Hello you beautiful people, welcome to the very third episode of gabbling and rambling about how hard things are in game development. Today we are going to talk about music, programming and game design. I hope you enjoy, and for your daily dose of dopamine, here's a cute frog. Starting with music, one of the things we struggled with in the beginning of the project was making the music cohesive with the ambience and topic of the game. Let me explain why that is so important. Now you take this game, but you put on top of it this music. Doesn't sound quite right, does it? Taking an idea of a sound or an idea of a song and building it into something real with very restricted equipment was another challenge in itself. Since the gaming industry has such high standards when it comes to sound, working on a low budget can be really frustrating sometimes. And we often needed to find new ways of expanding our boundaries on the matters of creativity. And music has a very important role in video games. Sometimes it's there to fill the audio space, almost as a part of the ambience. Other times it's there to portray emotion or the cow's emotion.
And dance with it, just like he does.
It's almost as if we had an auditory tool from which we can create ways of making the player feel something. Hello, I'm currently editing the video. The reason that we didn't show anything from the actual music in the game is because we are planning on making a video about it, explaining everything that went behind the music making. So yeah, I think we're gonna have fun with that. And following on to the next topic, we have the very nightmare feel that was the bow and arrow in the game. Having a bow in your game is a simple enough idea, but there's a catch to it. Making the logic behind the aiming system is quite a challenge. There's two ways of making this, using a projectile or a raycast. Well, apparently I was wrong. There's actually three of them. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can use both systems together. To do that, we need to make the raycast system, which is a system that takes a starting point and an end point, and you can store the trajectory to make calculations. And after that math is done, we bring in the projectile system. This task was not easy at all. We even considered changing the ranged weapon to the character used, but our screenwriter didn't quite enjoy the idea. I can see why. Following on to the next topic, we need to talk about this. This is the boss that we're going to have in our demo, so this is the first one we need to make. And designing a boss is an absolute nightmare if you're unexperienced with it. There's lots of tiny details that can and will influence the player and the way the player sees the boss and plays against him. So, for instance, a big boss will impose respect for the sheer size of him. A small boss, on the other hand, needs to conquer his respect. When it comes to the gameplay side of things, a big boss will be challenging because, well, he big. So every move needs to be calculated and thought out thoroughly. We need to take into consideration the world around that boss, because one hitbox too big or one move too fast and the player will experience absolute pain. And talking about pain, we always need to remember a good boss fight is rewarding and tells something to the player about the story.
Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
I hope you have a very nice day and a very nice week. You can subscribe and tag along for the next videos. We will make new devlogs whenever we have enough news for you guys.